The Covert Standard.
Shit, yeah. 3%ers right here.
You see, you just gotta elevate your lifestyle. Shit, I don't like asking for directions. I do love ass and titties, though, all day long. Damn, I need to change that intro so bad. It's killing me. I have heard it so many times. I just want to change it because I'm bored. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Thank you for tuning in to the Covert Standard podcast. And thanks for holding on with us this long. It's been a pretty good ride, and the results are pretty awesome. Ooh, shit. Dropping shit over here. The results are pretty awesome, man, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback, and it's growing, and we're creating that community of people that we've been wanting to, and that we've been actually focused on making since the beginning, and it actually is really awesome to see, and of course we owe it all to you, the listener. So it's pretty awesome.
You're welcome.
And so I'm sitting here with D Huck. What's up, D?
What's going on?
And I got Cabal from Cabal USA. What's up?
What's going on?
And speaking of Cabal USA, this motherfucker actually pays for this fucking podcast to be up on the air. Like, he actually sponsors in and actually throws some cash our way. It's not a boatload of cash because I'm not driving a new car yet, but we'll see what happens in the future. And anyway, Cabal USA is a company that was established by Dave over here as a company to establish and produce the right gear. So you must have the right gear. And a lot of it's got some cool swag on it, some awesome hats. I just ordered one myself off of his website with the promo code Covert Standard, which Dylan so happily called him out on last podcast, and you heard it yourself. It is 20% off. It will be for the month of February, ladies and gentlemen, and that means all the way up until the 28th, you will be able to purchase. Your entire cart will have 20% off of anything you purchase, shipped directly to your door, including his badass holsters that he's got up for sale on there as well. But I just ordered a Memento Mori hat in blue, and it's shipped. It should be here tomorrow. So if I'm not home, I'll just have Dave come pick it up at my house and bring it back to his house.
Oh, what the fuck?
But go to cabalusa.co to look for all this cool gear, mugs, hats, T-shirts. The hoodie's still up there, man?
Yeah, we still got hoodies. We got zip-up hoodies. You know, we live in Florida, and depending where you're at,
it's still
Florida,
cold.
dude. Like, I've had all the windows open.
No, not in Florida. I mean, it's still cold in the United States.
Yeah.
You can order it any state.
Yeah,
you know?
no, order it anywhere. We still got snow all the way out in Maine. So, you know. And
so if you need a hoodie.
shit, we actually ship worldwide. So if you're listening to this overseas, feel free, drop it in.
I feel like
man.
everybody that says worldwide on a radio, like it should have an echo, like worldwide.
Thank you, Pitbull.
Wide.
Mr. 305.
Mr. Worldwide. But anyway, cabalusa.co, and go ahead and use that promo code Covert Standard. Also, another shout out for another sponsor that helps us on this show is iView Marketing. That's EYE View Marketing. He is the one-stop shop for all print management services. Anything with graphics, all the way to cards, to anything that's basically on paper printed out. So go ahead and check out his website at iviewmarketing.com. Anyways, now that we're over with the sponsors, I just want to say something, ladies and gentlemen. Last episode, we left you with a cliffhanger, and we started talking about the yellow vest movement. Yeah, we started talking about the yellow vest movement, and we kind of cut it off and gave you guys a cliffhanger, and we recorded the episode, an entire episode, and realized that we had been drinking entirely too much, and we were completely hyper, and way too much excitement
you know what?
behind it.
I'll take this one over. I totally overdrank. That's not a thing. That's not something I do all the time.
Go to episode 1.
Shut the fuck up. No, it's definitely something that happened. We definitely got into the topic, and we're really into it. We were very passionate about everything that we're saying. But the main issue was we took like a little 20-minute break. We took shots in between them, and we went back on the air. We're slurring words. We're fucking shit up.
It was not good. Trust me. I know it might be disappointing to hear this, but you know, I got really ranty as I do, and it was terrible. I mean, it was really
Yeah.
So to save your ears,
right,
and save our ears,
we may come back to it, but it felt inappropriate to do without Chase here. You know, without the same crew to just pick up right where we left off. It seems kind of wrong. So we're going to table that discussion for another time, or never get to it. We'll see.
Or it just gets buried in the archives.
No,
and,
but
we just won't talk about it ever again.
Definitely. If you're actually hearing about this, like, look into it. What's going on in France? It's pretty sad what the whole shit that's going down.
Don't forget that it also got pivoted to the United States.
Really?
Oh yeah,
we'll go down that rent on the next episode, ladies and gentlemen, because we are
just
really...
to remind you, the very last question that was posed was, "What would you do if the government came after the Second Amendment?"
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's why it went down such a terrible rabbit hole.
Because we basically poured our hearts into that. We got a little too exciting. I think the microphones ended up disappearing.
Shit.
And we didn't even talk at the earphow. We were just fucking screaming in our studio here.
The audio was terrible.
Yeah.
Aside from the content, but the audio sucks.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get back after that because it's very passionate.
We definitely promise you guys that Chase is not dead. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, he is indisposed at the moment. Whatever. I remember hearing that word a long time ago, indisposed, when I call somebody, and it confused me because I didn't know what it was at the time. They were just like, he is indisposed. And I always thought that I've always wanted a secretary just so that way somebody can call and ask for me, just so they can say he's indisposed, and then I can fire the secretary because that's all I wanted to do.
She's going to just say, you're not here.
Yeah, he ain't here.
Not even a message, just will hang up right after that. Clink.
So now we don't have the full crew here, but we're gonna continue on forward, even if it's by myself talking to myself, which will be the most boring episode ever. So hopefully it doesn't ever come to that. I just wanted to go ahead and state our yes, maybe
I'm doing hand gestures off mic. I just want.
Well, I was like, yes.
This is episode 10, right?
Is this 10? Yes, this is 10. This is episode Diaz. Wow, we got 10 fucking episodes.
Did you just say Diaz?
Diaz.
Sorry,
Diaz.
Diaz.
Listeners, I'm just actively making this podcast worse.
So yeah, this is episode fucking 10. This is amazing.
Right.
I can't believe we were able to talk to each other that long and not be sick of each other. And if you listen to the last podcast, you could actually hear us talk about how much we text each other. We don't just talk to each other on the mics. We actively text each other all types of shit, and it's the funniest thing ever. Like Dill called this out on too. Dylan likes to call us out on our shit. We have multiple group text messages that we do. Like, one isn't enough, and we talk on all of them about our entire day, and it's some very interesting speak. It's pretty amazing.
Who the fuck doesn't have multiple chat rooms? Come on, let's think about that. Shit.
I don't know very many people. Everybody else that's in the group chat. That's who.
That's what I'm saying. Like we send some random fucking videos and make our day go by a little bit faster. That's fucking hilarious. And then give us topics to talk about. You know, when you have a malfunction, you don't stare at the barrel of the fucking gun. You know,
what are you doing? Nothing. What are you doing? Nothing. Bitches love smiley faces. I feel like that's like the conversation that we end up having. But basically, what I wanted to bring down, what we wanted to bring down on this episode, was to talk about why. Is to talk about the mission statement of Covert Standard. And I think that it's about time we're deep enough into where we can start going over what the idea of Covert Standard is. Now, we are a group of friends that have known each other for years, and we come from all different walks of earth. And we all have different opinions, and that's the greatest thing, is because in our group, we all call each out for our own shit. We don't just agree with each other. We pick topics throughout the time. Even if we're drinking or not drinking, we pick up these topics. We discuss them amongst each other, and we have our own viewpoints on it. And that's the beautiful thing, because it keeps us in check. One thing that I'm sure Dylan can agree with me is that's horrible for a lot of people is people getting themselves into their own echo chamber. Basically, they're in a world where I love when you do it. I do. That's the only noise that's allowed and acceptable on the podcast. Is the opening of a beer.
Fuck yeah!
It's about time, right? I don't have my watch on. I'm looking at my wrist like I do. So basically, is being in your own echo chamber. Basically, surrounding yourself with only people that are only going to agree with you, and as soon as they disagree with you, you want to get rid of them because you don't want to be told no or hear no. And that's one of the biggest things that is ruining a lot of different things in just our culture, not just in America, but I'm pretty sure all over the world. And it's always good to have somebody call you out for your shit.
Maybe it's an age thing, but everybody here is relatively the same age, not necessarily the listeners, but growing up, you in movies and in shows, that was like the, it was like a trope of a wealthy guy that just surrounded himself with yes men, and how the folly happened because of that. And I feel like that's kind of like the new age technological equivalent of like people are just surrounding themselves with yes men, where they don't have to actually actively think about their opinions. So that's, I mean, it's that run awry with everybody. Everybody gets to get in their own echo chamber of hearing yes men, and then they all just believe a bunch of nonsense.
That's why I try not to steer down those rabbit holes and listen to everybody. If I'm wrong, I like to hear why.
Right.
If I'm wrong. And that's the beauty about us is that each one of us will be like, nah, I don't know about that. Let me give you my opinion. And then sometimes we'll agree with the opinion, like, you know what? You're right. Or sometimes we'll be like, yeah, you're full of fucking shit, so shut the fuck up. And that's and that happens a lot.
It's a great thing that you're actually bringing this up, man, because like we are the OG of the name and company of Covert Standard.
Yep.
To go back to that history, if we want to talk about history about Covert Standard,
that was drawn up. That was drawn up on the table at a bar. What's it called? I don't remember the bar. Pipes.
We don't
whatever.
fucking know. Some fucking Irish place.
Even if I could tell you, I wouldn't want to put that information.
Yeah. So we'll just go with Pipes because I know that's not the name. I remember what it is now. We're just gonna go with Pipes. So that actually was written down on a piece of paper in a bar between the three of us. And it was because of another company that we were going to start, and it kind of fell through. You know, things happened, and of course it will. You can't always assume that everything that you're going to do is going to succeed. It's what you're going to do afterwards. All right, so that didn't succeed, fine, but we never stopped. We're going to continue to press on. So Covert Standard was one of the, I believe we had 20 names on the paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a shit ton.
Yeah.
I want to say it was well over 50 names that we actually tried to come up with.
And like we all narrowed it down, and narrowed it down, and narrowed it down until it finally came out to Covert Standard. So Covert Standard was supposed to be the name of the original company. And then when that fell through, we were trying to develop other businesses. And when the podcast situation came up and the idea came up for the podcast, Covert Standard sounded really good. Kind of like, Miami Herald or New York Times.
Miami Vice.
It was just Covert Standard Media. It just sounded like our agenda, right? So Covert Standard. So this is the standard that for whatever reason isn't being spoken out loud. Some of the opinions and viewpoints that we have is going to be harsh. Some of them are going to be a lot lighter. And some of them are just going to be so real that you're not going to even understand or you're even going to want to comprehend it. But some of the stuff that we say could and very well be the advice or the subject or the definition of a subject matter that you want to hear. And or that you need to hear rather, and so that's where Covert Standard actually came out. Was years ago on a bar table on a piece of paper. That was pretty good. Good times.
Fucking that was good times. It took us like what?
Yellow legal pad.
Yeah, and a black pen. It was a yellow legal pen. It was a really good pen though.
I stopped at Staples and got a good shit.
that was a good fucking pen. I think I still have that pen actually in the fucking in the kitchen.
Fuck yeah, dude! I actually still got all that shit in the shop. And speaking to that, if we can just segue over to the whole Cabal USA, what pretty much started the whole fucking thing is you guys talking about opinions and giving a lot of feedback back to me when it came to holsters. I started doing holsters in the garage. Dylan and I will get fucking drunk. He'll come over. He's like, hey, man, I got a toaster. Let's order some thermoplastic and fuck shit up. Make some holsters. There hasn't been a holster for a revolver. What was the revolver was? Like it was like
single action army.
Yeah, that's what it was.
We made a very ugly, huge single action army holster inside the waistband that I still have.
I still need to make a holster for my Model 66 that I have. I really want to carry that thing.
I have plenty of guns. I still need to make holsters.
But I don't know.
I am always changing my mind on what holster I like.
Yeah,
that's what the hard thing about just making one holster that's the same for all of them. Because I just changed my mind on what style of holster I like. And it depends on where you're going to carry and how you're going to carry. And if you've gotten fat or if you've gotten skinny again or if you've gotten fat a second time, whatever's going on in your life.
Then you keep your old holster so that we can go back into it. It's like keeping your old jeans.
Yeah.
Well, you got to look at it that way.
You got to go back to your old techniques.
So then Cabal USA was born right alongside with Covert Standard. And basically what we're trying to do is establish multiple different, entities that tie into each other. And each of us will help each other get, elevate our lifestyles basically and get our voices out there. Because most of it is because we like this shit. Like getting on this mic right now is probably one of the biggest things for us to do because we know that we can reach everybody if everybody wants to listen.
Yeah, willing to listen.
And,
absolutely.
And we know that we can get our voice out there. And I think having an entity like that where we're not all just going to agree with each other. We have similar viewpoints, but we're not going to just all agree with each other. We'll call each other in first shit. Sometimes people just need to hear what that sounds like. Yeah. And that's what I love about this. So Cabal USA and Covert Standard ended up coming up with ideas. We brought Dylan and Chase along as well. And we're going to have our own entities developing into this. I know Dylan's got some things in the woodwork as well. I'm not going to disclose anything that we used to talk about. Unless you want to, Dylan, you can go talk about it. But I know that we got some things that are on the drawing board. And of course, Chase will be coming along as well. And we are all going to be basically feeding in on each other. The main goal of this, at least I know for myself, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm sure everybody can almost agree, is that we want to develop a community of people, okay, that can all unify. They can all agree with each other, disagree. It doesn't matter what it is. They just have one common core goal, and that's the love for our country. The love for our country has been on the decline for years now, and it's starting to sadden me to see the decline happen. So what we want to do is develop this community of people to help each other out, to basically develop an understanding so we can fight the tyranny and fight the people that are basically trying to take it away from us. We've got people chanting on YouTube videos all over. I mean, because let's just cut the shit, okay? Social media is the future. We're not going to get rid of it. This is here, so that's what we're going to see. We're going to see social media all the time. So you see social media videos on YouTube and everything like that of people chanting for communism in the United States. I remember there being a time where that's it. Fucking as soon as communism is fucking taken out, that's it. Fuck you. Get the fuck out. That's what it was. We don't want communism here. I don't know if you guys listened to the State of Address, but socialism too is another thing that would be fucking horrible. And
I missed it. It's the State of the Union.
Yeah, he actually said it. He said, United States will never be socialist. And I fucking love that he fucking said that shit.
I think they zoomed in on Bernie Sanders' face.
They did. They did. Bernie was so pissed off. He literally was leaning there on his fucking hands like, fuck.
I mean, he knows he's been on the out. He's been an independent his whole life. No one likes his ideas.
Yeah, of course.
Here's the frustration. You know, the American education system, it's almost a cliche to say it sucks at this point because everybody knows it.
Sure.
I feel like being in Kansas, I actually got a really good education for it being a public education. That said, even that never really went over the genuine horrors of communism and why it's so bad.
Yeah, the education system, I can kind of agree with you because every time because I went back and forth between here and Virginia.
Yeah.
And every time I came down here, it was so much fucking easier. When I went back up to Virginia, I felt like I missed something.
Right. Yeah, no, that's definitely not to knock Florida too much, but that's kind of the impression I get when I talk to people. Like, you didn't learn that in school? Like, you didn't read 1984? Like I just name off so many books. They're like, no, I didn't. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Our education system is failing, or not failing, but it's getting worse. I don't want to say it's failing because obviously there's still people making something out of themselves when it comes to education, but you can see it, though. You can see a decline in a lot of these places. A lot of the kids don't even care to go to school. It's getting worse. Like, I know that there was always been, the select few that chose not to go to school and did their own thing and,
sure,
did bad shit. But those that are going to school.
Or not. I mean, there's plenty of people that are high school dropouts that did good things.
Sure.
I mean, not everybody's a dickhead.
No, not everybody.
Yeah, I mean, some people are, but not everybody. Sometimes school's just not for them.
Cool. Yeah, of course.
Here's the... I don't know. And don't get me off on politics. I just keep going and going. The federal government is the reason education system sucks because states don't have the flexibility to change things to when they work.
Sure.
You try to come up with a standard and systems don't work well that way.
Instead of fixing it, they want to reinvent the wheel. Like, have you seen this fucking Common Core bullshit with math? Like, that's just one small example.
That's just another reiteration of a federal standard that they've been trying to go towards, and every time they do it, the education lowers. The standard for everybody lowers rather than giving the states and then the communities the ability to kind of change with what's appropriate for them. It may not be a popular thing to say, but if you are in a daycare or in a household where your family is working all the time and you don't hear a large vocabulary when you are an infant up until 4 years old, that has an impact on your education and your ability to learn for the rest of your life. Sure. This is something that has been studied through and through. That's not controversial when you're talking about science. So if you're going to compare that to a community that is mostly generally well off, that are married, that they have someone dedicated to the home that is raising their child in conjunction with daycare, and they're paying more for daycare, not just the bare minimum. So it's all revolves around giving early childhood education the best it can possibly be. That's a huge leg up for those people. And how you have to educate those two different people are two different standards.
Yeah.
But that type of mentality is not allowed, because then you are favoring the rich and you are trying to keep the poor down.
And then that's where the division between
that's where you just get an education system they just want to bring everybody down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like socialism. They don't want successful people to be successful. They'd rather everybody be equal and everybody be poor in their equality, versus there being a huge disparity, but everybody being richer for it.
Yeah. No. I and this
Well
is
said.
and yeah, and this is exactly the point why we do these things, is that there's so much out there to speak about, and there's so much time to speak about these things that sometimes our conversations could sometimes give somebody an idea. Maybe that light bulb lights up over their head, and they start thinking about, certain things. Maybe they were told something for so long, and they hear somebody else's viewpoint. Maybe this viewpoint might help them out. We're not going to always say that we're right, because we're not. Fuck no, we're not.
Absolutely.
But we have a different understanding amongst each other. Like I said, we came from different walks of life, and that's where this is. That's the community of people we want. We want a community of people that's going to look out for each other, that cares about one another. What happened to love thy neighbor? We talked about that on the air with Dredd.
Yeah.
Right. What happened to love thy neighbor? Whatever happened?
Know your neighbor.
Exactly. See,
it's gone.
I tried to go out. I know some of them, but it's like some of the times, you can't even wave at people anymore. What happened to the friendliness?
Yeah.
Like you wave at somebody, and it might be because I'm brown with tattoos, but I try to wave at somebody and they look at me like I'm about to rob them or some shit like that. Like,
well, I'm in a more rural area, and everybody in my neighborhood waves at each other.
Yeah.
So at least I have that, but I'm not good. I mean, I haven't had a chance to get to know any of them. Mm-hmm. Everybody has the attitude of just leave me the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some parts of this neighborhood.
Yeah, I was about to say
some parts of this neighborhood.
Brother, I wave at everybody in my neighborhood. Everybody sends Christmas cards to each other and shit. It's actually pretty badass. Like,
that's cool.
And you got a Christmas card?
Yeah, I got like 6 Christmas cards. It was fucking dope.
We live like down the road from each other. Like obviously your neighbors.
Dave's
are more
way
badass.
more friendly than you, though.
Yeah. I am,
bro. I park my vehicle outside, so people know when I'm home.
I don't care. I don't care that people. I don't care if people know anything about me. No,
neighbors don't know when it's the time to fucking knock on the door, bro.
People don't know when they should rob you or not.
Exactly. Yeah,
I like where Fred's head's at.
Thank you very much. They're home. They're not home. They're home. I like that. So anyway, Cabal USA developed alongside with Covert Standard, and it's basically coming out with just stuff that you can represent yourself and represent your beliefs through. It's stuff that you could basically, it stands out that you represent a certain lifestyle, and that's being free America. I know that some of the there's so many controversies, and there's not enough time within an hour to go over all of them, but we can just talk about a few. One, we are 100% proud supporters of the Second Amendment, and it's not just to say that we want our Second Amendment because we're going to go do bad things. It's basically so we can prevent bad things from happening.
It's the total opposite of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so we can prevent bad things from happening. We are good people with guns. That's it. Yeah. We are not bad people with guns.
The majority of people are good.
Exactly.
That's why it makes sense to have guns in the hands of the majority of people.
Yeah. Exactly. Because an armed society is a peaceful society. People being held accountable.
And that's what the main slogan is for Cabal USA, is like have the right gear. And that slogan wasn't really particular for like actual outdoor gear. Mainly was for your firearm. If you're actually going to carry, you definitely need to have a proper Kydex holster, or at least a leather holster that's actually going to retain. But quality is paramount when it comes to carrying, because the responsibilities that you have is ridiculous. You can't just carry a gun just because you got your CWP and just say, hey, I'm going to carry this. I haven't shot this bitch out like in the last fucking 8 years.
Well, you can, but you shouldn't.
You should not.
And the best thing I've heard is he used a term that I wouldn't repeat because I had no idea what he was talking about. Maybe it's a regional thing, but the best thing I can think of is it's like a safety blanket. For a lot of people, it's not a genuine tool because they don't have the right gear, they don't practice, they're not proficient. So they have it.
They have it for security.
More than anything.
Or safety blanket, yeah. I get what you're saying.
But more than anything, it's like a security blanket. Because like they're not very effective with it. So how proficient are they going to be? in a situation where they need it, having the right gear is, talking about a proper Kydex holster. It's something a lot of people don't think about, and something I try to I manage a gun shop, so I help people that are getting into this. Something I try to bring people's minds to is like, you're carrying a gun not because you're Rambo and not because you're going out looking for trouble, but because you want to be able to have something just in case.
The neutralizer.
And not every altercation you're going to get into is necessarily a deadly one.
Yep.
So if you get into a shouting match, you're going to try to de-escalate. If you get into a shoving match, you're going to try to de-escalate. If you get into a fist fight, you are still going to try to de-escalate. Most people will have that mentality. But if you're in a shoving match or a fist fight and a gun flies out, that became a deadly encounter instantaneously.
Yep.
And it's because you didn't want to spend $50 extra on a holster.
And that's the other thing. Like, so the price point where I got it at, I tried not to go in too cheap, because then people actually believe that's a cheap fucking item. And then you got...
There's also the hardware involved. Like, if you get a good hardware...
Good hardware is good
exactly
holster.
what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got time and then... Like, the hardware is number one. So you got hardware that you got to worry, and then everything that's actually within balance in its range. And then the other thing is that you want to... Nice. I love it. Love it. Yes, please. And the other thing is, I didn't want to go too high, because you got some holsters out there that are going for like $150 just to carry a Glock 19. Mind you, yeah, it might be fucking Gucci looking, but shit, I've seen guys who sit down and then the fucking magazine release. Yes, it's a fucking
I don't remember
thing.
seeing a holster for $150. Where's this holster? I want one.
There are some.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Of course you want one. No, they're out there, brother. Just the thing is, I don't think it should be that expensive. It's not like you're buying a fucking extra optic for your fucking handgun. It should be something that, one, secures your firearm.
Rig.
What?
Speed rig. That's
Speed
the only thing I
rig.
can think of that's really fucking expensive for no reason.
It might be.
Have you seen some of the, I don't know how to drop other holster companies' names in your presence, but have you seen some of the Raven concealment stuff?
No.
With
I know that they had like the Raven claw shit, but
no. But so there's the claw, but there's also the wedge, and there's all kinds of little weird add-ons that you can get done to where you have like 5 gadgets on your holster. And yeah, the prices get up quickly.
Yeah, they definitely do. But not to knock on Raven Concealment.
No, they can make great stuff.
They make amazing shit. In fact, I actually make my holsters with Raven Concealment products. We have that agreement where I can buy certain things that I actually love. I love their overhook struts. I love their belt clips. And you can't go wrong with that. The shit that they actually use for all their holsters is phenomenal. Their ideas, innovations that they got, it's an open source program. That's a crazy part.
So don't forget though, he's using the similar things from different companies, stuff like that, and his own twist. Like Dave's got his own twist to his holster, and he's got them for sale right now on CabalUSA.co, and you could get 20% off for the month of February. So take that up. That's a big percentage off. So take that up, the offer. Put Covert Standard in that promo code.
Of course, you choose the shortest month.
Yeah, because I'm a shortest fucking dude around here.
What happened was that he was drunk when you called him out on it, and he was just like, "Yes, 20% off. Fuck you, Dylan." Blah. And then immediately regretted it when he woke up in the morning, like, "Oh fuck."
I didn't fucking regret it. No, you motherfuckers that are listening, you guys definitely deserve it. Fuck these guys on the mics right now. No, but you guys definitely deserve it, and that goes for the swag, that goes for the holsters, the fucking hammocks. You fucking get 20% off on the whole thing. So, of course, the bigger discount is when you buy multiple items.
The Cabal USA peach flavored condoms are going for sale soon, so make sure you get 20% off of those too.
No, you got to stop doing false advertisement because I do get emailed through fucking Instagram saying, "Hey, man,
when's those peach flavored condoms coming out, bro?"
So, to get us back on track a little bit, we were back kind of talking about what Covert Standard meant, and he kind of kicked it off to you about what Cabal USA meant to you, and I know what it is now. Where do you want this to go? Where do you see it going? Where would you like to see it going? What are you thinking on that?
Great question. All I really want to do is just provide a great quality holster at a reasonable price. The other thing is I definitely want to hire folks that are willing to build things with their hands. At the same time, I just want to hire the veteran community. I want to hire some guys that didn't even have the opportunity to get a good, decent job. Like, our justice system kind of sucks when it comes to that. Like, I got to see what the fucking brig was like in the civilian side. Shit sucks. Shit fucking sucks. These guys get out. They don't got a fucking house. They don't got a fucking car. And then we tell society not to fucking hire these guys. And half of these guys are loyal as fuck. You know?
Yeah.
All they want is a decent job, but nobody wants to give them that decent job. So they revert back to this fucking crime world. But not to get off topic about that, it's just, I want to give the people, an opportunity to get a fucking badass job in a community that
that they can't be a part of because they're felons.
No, it depends. It depends on what's going on. No, they can build shit.
Oh, they can build shit. They just can't join our community.
You're absolutely right.
I'm gonna build this custom one for a musket boss.
Yeah.
I'm such an asshole. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. You just made me look like a fucking dumbass.
No. I mean, I think what you're saying is really awesome. I mean, I think you're right in the fact that it's super tough out there for felons. I mean, obviously, it's tough out there for veterans too.
It's both. We got veterans that go in for the fucking wrong thing because they got drunk in public, intoxicated to the point that they beat the shit out of some folks. Might have deserved it, but they get locked up, and then now they got caught up in a whole fucking battery charge.
I have a story for you.
You know,
so
go for it.
So I have a someone I would consider a friend. He worked for me. He's a retired guy. He just wanted to have a job more or less for fun. And, he had a son that was in the military, and I forget which branch, but they didn't do anything crazy. They just were in Kuwait for a tour, and they came back from Kuwait. So if you're unfamiliar, you may be able to drink there, but openly, you can't just go to a bar anywhere. Alcohol is illegal in Kuwait. I mean,
yeah, it's a dry country.
Right. So the first thing that they do when they get back is they all go out together, the people he was deployed with.
Yeah.
And they go to a bar and they get really drunk.
Absolutely.
And it was 3 guys and a female. And the female got wildly intoxicated, out of control drunk. And they were trying to take her keys from her and get her in a taxi to prevent her from killing herself or someone else, really. And a colonel bumped into them and kind of took it as they were trying to assault her. They ended up getting convicted and going to jail. I mean, well, convicted, they ended up having to take a plea because they were facing serious time and went to jail for the better part of a year. The sentence was for 2 years, and it was a better part of a year before the female involved was finally like, no, actually, that's not exactly what happened. Why she didn't do that from the get-go, I don't know. Or the next day when she sobered up,
she probably didn't even have the opportunity to do it, because that's how most of the cases go in a court. It's fucking insane.
But because someone with rank misunderstood what was going on, those guys' lives were ruined.
Absolutely.
For them trying to do the right thing of all things.
It could be just as easy as that too, though. Like, it's not as complicated as it seems. It could be one thing gone wrong, and it ends up ending like that. You know?
Right. So there's definitely nuance that our justice system's not great at dealing with. Obviously, that was the military justice system, but the civilian justice system is the same, if not worse.
It follows them, because then they get admin steps, sometimes dishonorably discharged.
That's sometimes looked at as worse than a felony.
Yeah.
If you get dishonorable discharge, like, nobody wants to. That's it.
Good luck in a job.
Like, the whole thing of fucking the admiral's daughter is a fucking thing, man.
Well, yeah, we all know somebody.
I may know a few people.
Yeah, but that shit happens.
It sounds like it needs to be a country song.
Pretty sure it kind of is.
Fuck the general's daughter.
All right, Freddie, come on. When was the last time you were at a country bar?
I don't go to country bars. I gave it my all. Okay, at least I gave it my all.
No. But I definitely want to give the veteran community a chance, and that's what it is. Everything's case by case, of course, but I just want to be able to support my family with this company, and at the same time, have fun with it. Yeah. I want to have fun with this. Go ahead.
Sorry, make something that brings joy, or at least something that has utility for people.
Absolutely, every day, and I don't mind if they buy just one holster and never come back to me as long as they're fucking using that same fucking holster, you know?
Yeah, some guys, they just have one gun. And that's what they carry
that's what
every
they
day.
fucking rock.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
That's the same almost to be said about Covert Standard too, though. Along with being with Cabal USA and also the other things that we're going to be obviously bringing up in the future, we're all trying to balance off each other and actually raise together. And the community of people that we're trying to go after is that hardworking American. It's that American that believes in the belief system, that doesn't try to live above their means, that doesn't try to live above themselves and above the meaning of what it is to be an American.
I like rich people too.
And well, again, living above their means. I mean, if they live above,
that's true. Rich people don't have to live above
they don't
their
have means.
Yeah,
they just live.
They're like,
you know?
I got all this money, I got to kind of spend it.
So the community of people we're trying to do is this is just, I'm trying to make a home.
I'm pro working people.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm trying to make a home. I'm trying to make a home for people, not physically. This is a figuratively speaking of a home.
Yeah.
A place that somebody can go when they're having a hard time, when they're trying to think, when they're trying to get motivated, when they're having a good day, when they're having a bad day. It doesn't matter what it is. They can turn this on, listen to it, and they can enjoy it.
Go to a different headspace.
Exactly. And it puts themselves in a different, not a different reality, but just gets their mind out of where it's currently at and puts them in another place to where they can actually go through.
An hour to
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. An hour out of the day that they can just listen to something else. That other people talk about their problems or other problems and just either agree or disagree, have something to think about, and actually feel that they're part of the conversation, because this is we are all part of the conversation.
Right.
And with that being said, the community of people being here, we after we're done getting each one of us developed, we're going to have that middle product.
That said, while we're on that same topic, reach out to us on Instagram. We love feedback.
Exactly.
Apparently none of us like Twitter. So
I have tried Twitter. I'm on Twitter. Covert Standard is on Twitter.
Dude, I was scared.
They have 12. Okay,
followers?
They have like one follower. Look, there's one follower of Covert Standard on Twitter. Please follow us and talk shit.
Instagram, if you got an Instagram or you're willing to just make a bullshit account and then talk to us, we love feedback. So by all means, hop on there.
Yeah, it can be good, bad. Fucking let us know.
I've had people that I don't know, I've never met before, never seen never seen a photo for, have hit me up on Instagram to say, hey, man.
Dude, you only know 4 people.
I'm going through this. 4 more than you do. So I don't know who they are. And they go, hey, man, I've got this thing, or I need to talk about this thing. And I would just sit down and I'll sit here and have a conversation with them over it, on my off time and stuff like that. And
that's awesome.
And that guy is heavily motivated. And it had to do with the military. It was a kid that was deciding if he should go or not.
Yeah.
Because basically, in his life, it seems like everybody that he knows is against it. He seems like everybody that he knows is against America, against this, and he feels like if he joins the military, he's doing the wrong thing. And because of this influence that he has on the people that he's around, he started thinking that this wasn't going to be a good thing. And I basically gave him the real answer. I didn't just tell him, "Oh, join. Uncle Sam needs you." I didn't give him that approach.
Yeah.
I gave him a realistic approach. I told him I didn't join because I was patriotic. I joined because I was a shitty kid in a shitty situation. And I needed a way out. That's why I joined. I mean, let's just be fucking real with it.
Right.
But when I was in there, I developed a different set of a different mindset, and it was awesome. Like, I learned what America's all about, what freedom's all about, and I became patriotic from inside.
But not only that, it definitely makes you a better person.
It makes you a better person.
It makes you grow, and it gives you self-discipline. That's something you would have never known, or maybe never, if when it comes to accountability, integrity, that shit.
That's not the only source you can get in life from those things, but it is a fantastic source if you're lacking in it. And
but you learn that real quick in the military, and that's the thing.
You're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to, exactly. So I just wanted to put those 2 things in there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, this is what this is about. I mean, fuck, that's what we're talking about right there, and that's the end result. That's what I want. Is people to understand that we're not just trying to develop a community, but we're trying to be part of the community as well. And I think the division is so much, but also along with the gun owners right now, which is one of the biggest controversies we have, And we have to feel, I feel personally, I have to help try to defend it vocally. And of course, being a supporter of it as well, because I understand what our forefathers went through. I also have been going through the Federalist Papers recently.
That's awesome.
And man, it really is a different world then. It was a different world with the same fucking message.
Yeah.
It was the different people with the same fucking thought process. And that was over 200 years ago.
Humans have not changed.
They have
at
not
all.
changed. And it's the beauty of it. And it's starting to make me understand why we have these things, because they knew that everything in the future was going to turn to shit.
People suck and they'll always suck.
And they'll always people suck and they'll always suck. So because of all that, that is why I want to support even more. And I've always been a supporter, but I want to support even more. And it's all about the gun world right now. Why do you have guns? Not because we want to go out and hurt you. It's because we want to defend ourselves from other people hurting us. And that's what it's all about.
We're not being a victim.
No.
Putting it that
Fuck
simple.
being a victim. Stand up for your fucking
just
self.
Just not being a victim.
Fuck the bully. I'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Fuck trying to, don't take, I earned my shit. Don't take my shit. Go get your own shit. You know?
Right.
It's a complete belief and understanding. And I know that we were watching YouTube videos, right, about different people's opinions on when it comes to carry. And I believe you just saw one recently, didn't you?
So yeah, I brought it up a little bit before we started recording here of an act of self-protection. I'll probably put up a link on Instagram when I'm promoting this episode 10. But it was talking about a shootout that happened or a attempted bank robbery in Costa Rica, I believe. It was in somewhere around there. And essentially it was a drop-off from a small business. They had a decent amount of money that they were putting in the bank in cash, and someone found out about it. So it was a 3-man crew waiting to surprise these people that, frankly, I mean, if it was in America, they should have been using Brinks. They should have been using an armed security to grab this cash. It was the equivalent of $75,000. And it was an older couple, and he just gave the money to the wife. The wife got out and was going to try to walk it into the bank. And guy pulls a gun into the lady's face. And then it hits over the head with a gun, knocks her out cold, grabs the money. And that's when the security guard jumps in and luckily, saved really probably the couple's life, because the husband did not make the right decision there. And he went after the money instead of trying to save his wife. Just do it into the
mic, man. Like, come on, our audience really doesn't. They don't care about that shit.
Too polite to burp into the mic.
Nah, do it in the mic. It's Chase's mic. Just do it so you can smell it.
So, essentially,
Chase would be so upset if you burped into his
long story
mic.
short, God, I am so fucking taking this forever. He points out that a handgun should be used as a distance tool versus the bad guy. And his mindset on that is, closing the distance negates skill. So you have low skill, you get close, because it's way easier to shoot someone in the chest and in the head if you are a foot away versus 25 yards away. It takes quite a bit more skill. So his whole argument is always use a handgun as a distance tool from the bad guy. So
how do you feel about that?
That's the point of contention that I wanted to bring up with everybody, because I'm very conflicted. I understand what he's saying. When I am out at the range with a handgun, I'm quite a bit more proficient than most at distance. That's when I really see people fade. When you get out to that 25-yard mark, you get a lot more misses from most people, and that's people that shoot on a regular basis. So, when you're talking about someone that doesn't shoot at a regular basis, your odds of not getting shot are way better at 25 yards.
Yeah.
That said,
and stress-induced and everything.
Right. I mean, I'm not standing still, or if someone's attacking me, so I'm going to be on the move.
Moving target.
Yep.
There's stress involved.
Do I want to have a 25-yard shot when I'm trying to take a shot that's going to stop the threat as fast as possible?
Do you think what he's saying, it might have been taken wrongly? Like maybe what he was saying was, you want to give yourself distance instead of actually tackling the person if you're within 5 yards to just point the gun at him. Not necessarily if you're standing 50 yards, 25 yards away to try to get a shot on him 25 yards away.
So to give a more deliberate breakdown, the guy tackles the first dude. rather than just engaging him with a gun.
Being security guard.
Right,
Security guard tackles a dude with the gun that already smacked the lady in the face. Lady's unconscious, in my opinion.
I agree with that statement.
Deadly force triangle is already engaged.
Right.
But that's where I believe the guy that was doing the video was saying it should have never got to that tackle.
Right. And if that's what we're talking about, I can kind of understand. All right. But what I wanted to point out is I think he was applying that to the other two people in the equation because it wasn't just a one-on-one person.
Yeah, he did end up adding that. You're correct. So it was a 3-person job.
Right.
So, but comes to the gear, that gun
it came right out of the holster, and it was because he did not have a solid Kydex holster or a solid leather holster with appropriate straps. No argument.
Yeah.
That is, he was unchambered and had bad gear. So he not only did not have a round in the chamber, so that means that he had the time to where he was going to have to draw from his holster and rack that slide to get a round into the chamber, which leaves him with one less possibility for ammunition. But also, he lost his gun in the fight. I mean, he went and tackled that guy because he was trying for a non-lethal. It was probably just instant reaction. Maybe he didn't see that firearm, so he didn't see that in play. Maybe he just saw a guy hitting an old lady
over the head.
Yeah,
which is what I was asking earlier. Was what's my premise? What did I see him? Did I see him pull
There's
the gun?
so many things. Just because you're watching security footage doesn't mean you know what was going through
So
someone else's
they
head.
give me a scenario.
Right.
Okay, I'm the security guard. Right. I'm guarding the bank. I have no idea anybody's gonna rob it. I'm 5 minutes away from getting off my shift. I'm fucking tired. I've been working all day. This old lady comes in, and then boom, there's a guy. What am I seeing? Do I see him have a gun in his hand?
You're gonna press safe alert on your necklace.
You're going to wait the 20 minutes for the cops, and everything will be fine. The Democrats are right.
No, he'll be already clocked out by that time.
So if
I'm going to give you a scenario,
give me the scenario.
I want to give you a real scenario.
Okay,
because you're not a security guard. So you get.
Dude, I tried to do it. I can't do it, man. It's like standing duty.
Yeah,
and I hate standing duty.
It's terrible.
Oh, it's horrible.
Hurry up and wait.
And I had to quit dipping. Dipping was a thing for duty. I had to quit that shit a long time ago.
So let me set the scenario. You just got back from a 3-hour drive from a event you did. So it's late at night, around midnight.
Okay.
You've been driving all night. You get to where your vehicle is. So you drive to your vehicle. You get in the vehicle. You need gas. You didn't fill up before you went to work. So you stop. And you are getting gas at a tank.
This totally doesn't sound like me at all because I'm already. As soon as I get half tank, I'm filling up again. All right, go ahead. So I need to go fill up fuel.
What are things you would need? Give me a reason you would stop at a gas station. I would say
okay. So gas. I need gas, right?
Okay.
Let's just say it's been a 3-hour. Let's just say it's 2:00 in the morning when I'm driving home and I'm fucking tired. I stop for a cup of coffee.
Okay. There we go.
Because that is something I would do.
Right. So you stop in. You're at a decent sized establishment. Probably a Wawa.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a good distance from the one side of the store to the other.
Okay.
You're getting a cup of coffee, and on the other end, where there are people checking out, there is a commotion, and say someone's drawing a gun. What are your actions?
Do I see the gun getting drawn already?
You do.
Or is the gun already drawn by the time I get to see him? Or do I watch
You're
him?
Getting your cup of coffee.
Am I walking back?
You're getting a cup of coffee. You're looking around, as we all try to keep our heads on the swivel. But you don't see everything. You see a guy that acts weird. You kind of eyeball him a little bit, but you're still getting your coffee. And by the time you hear a noise, you look over again, and the guy's got a gun in someone's face.
What would I do?
What do you do?
Okay, so number one, I'm a very paranoid person.
I know that's why I said you're already looking around. I know that. I know that about you.
When I walk into an establishment, as soon as I walk into the door, I have a habit of trying to look for different entryways and exit ways. It's just a habit. Not because it's literally subliminal. Like I don't even think about it.
Right.
It's just a natural thing. I also look for where where I'm traveling, my path to travel, where I need to walk. It's a thing that's pre-planned in my head.
To get off the X.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, I know that I have to get a cup of coffee, so I know that I'm going to beeline it to the coffee. I've got to pass 1, 2, 3 customers before getting over there. I get my cup of coffee. I want to get my creamer on the other side.
Say coffee
back to the
one
window.
more time.
Coffee. Well, shut up, bitch. I put my bag. This is actually, believe it or not, I'm giving you a real situation.
No, I totally get it.
I get my creamer on the other side because my back's to the window. I'm still facing the rest of the store. I have everybody in front of me. I know that there could be somebody behind me in the glass, but that's not how my mind's thinking at the time.
Sure.
I get my creamer, my coffee, and I'm always looking up every like 3 seconds. I'm always like, looking up. Now, I'm here, right? If that guy passed me at some point, I definitely would have noticed a suspicion.
Sure.
Because I could pick up when somebody's nervous. I could pick up when somebody's...
Generally, when someone's robbing someone else, they're nervous.
So I could pick up nervous. I could pick up skittish. I could pick up the a flight risk. I could drugs. I could pick things up. Yeah. And dude, every time I walk into a Wawa, if it's on a busy day, there's at least 2 or 3 people that are fucked up on that.
Guaranteed.
That's kind of the problem is that it happens so often.
Yes.
So
I would have probably been alerted already.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you see someone, you notice him, but you're still getting your coffee, and then you hear a noise.
I hear a noise, right?
I'm
behind the coffee.
Yeah.
I hear a noise. Person draws the gun. Is the person facing side or facing directly with his back's to me? Or her back's to me? Whoever the fuck's robbing.
Let's be real. There's not a huge amount of girls robbing fucking gas stations.
Let's just say he's got his back.
He's got his side to you. Okay. So you're on his extreme peripheral.
Okay, extreme peripheral.
Yeah, he's getting ready to try to run out the door.
Which means not direct peripheral.
Right.
So my reaction immediately is I need to make sure everybody else is safe. So obviously there's going to be other people screaming and running around. I usually zone in on what needs to be done, and I literally zero out everything else. So if there's people screaming and running around me, I don't even pay attention to them. Like they're literally a blur in my mind. Right now I'm in a focus mode. The coffee's still going to be in my hand probably because I'm walking towards the register. Yep. Okay, so if I'm walking towards the register, actually, as I was walking to the register, I'm assuming that that's when it happens, or is it when I'm at the creamer station?
You're at the creamer station.
Okay, I'm at the creamer station. I peek over. I look over. I see that he's got a gun. I'm immediately going to figure out a way to kill this situation because I want to make sure that nobody gets shot. I want to make sure everybody's okay. But at this moment, if I'm making a decision, I'm probably going to go for draw gun goes towards, and I'm walking towards.
So you are going to engage.
I am going to engage. Now, I'm in the gas station. Let me be incredibly clear. I am not playing Rambo or hero here. I am in the gas station, and I see that the young lady or young man behind the counter has their life threatened. The customers to the sides have their life threatened. There's a guy with a gun who we don't know his intentions, but right now he is showing the intention of I am going to hurt somebody.
Right.
I don't look at I'm robbing. I'm looking at I'm killing. I go for the extreme. So I'm going to engage. So how I would engage would be plain and simple. I'm going to focus my way going to the front. Now I'm giving you my plan.
Sure.
But what really happens when it comes under stress, I can't tell you.
You're just gonna
Nobody
act.
Could ever tell you.
Right.
I'm going to act. More than likely, gun gets drawn, I go towards him.
Okay, so close distance.
Yes.
That was my primary question. Close distance or not? Or, well, actually, it's 2.
Are you asking if I'm going to fire from where I'm at?
Twofold.
No.
Okay.
I am going to close distance, probably in an inconspicuous way. I'll go for cover. I'll go cover to
draw
cover
first, or are you gonna
draw's going to be first? Absolutely, immediately. Okay. Because as soon as the gun's drawn, there's already a panic, so it doesn't fucking matter if I'm creating a panic. Right. So I'm going to go for gun draw.
Just for the listeners, do you carry with a round in the chamber?
Always. Never. Well, there's obviously some work related times where I won't.
That's how you're gonna shoot your dick off.
Well, I'm completely comfortable with my wear and how I carry. So
gear,
proficient. Yeah. I've been doing this for 14 fucking years. So having the right gear. But so yeah, there's always gonna be a round in the chamber. Now if there's not a round in the chamber, I'm pretty proficient to make sure he gets racked and cocked a lot. But I will not do it like these fucking Hollywood people, where if the gun's in my face, if my gun's not chambered, I am less likely to draw my gun and then rack it and shoot it versus if I had a round in the chamber, which I still won't probably choose that to be the first option if there's a gun in my face.
Right.
It's going to be incognito until I have an opportunity.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and try to put my fate when his finger's on the trigger, because as soon as I lift my shirt, it could be bang, there goes my day.
Right.
So I could literally just have my hands up and then try to feel the situation and then try to pick a better approach for it. So if I have no round in the chamber, I'm never going to fucking take that pistol out if there's a gun in my face.
Right.
So the gun, in this case, I'm taking him by surprise. There's no gun in my face. There's a gun in the other person's face.
Correct.
I'm going to close the distance, go cover to cover, and I will not make a shot unless I know I have a clear shot, because I do not want to hurt the lady that he's actually aiming at.
Sure.
So that's why I practice. That's why I train, which we can tell that last time. I can tell I need to train some more.
Same scenario. And this is a very genuine question. Do you engage in that situation? Because you're not obligated to.
Yeah. So when it comes to like how it works out here, you're not obligated to do that. But for me, I would definitely, I'll engage. So I'm getting my cup of coffee. I'm already awake now. That shit got my attention. Majority of the folks are actually going to be running out or laying on the ground. I'll be drawing my gun, and I'll do the same thing cover to cover. That's a guarantee. Okay. Then I'll position myself where there's...
If I can be an asshole for a second.
Be the asshole.
There's probably not really hardly any cover in a Wawa. There's concealment, and which works in most situations like cover, but it is different than cover.
We consider cover and concealment the same thing. Cover is covered. Whether it's a solid piece of cover, you're not going to know if it's solid or not. So cover is cover. It's out of sight, out of mind.
In a conceal carry, in a civilian situation, concealment almost always works as cover.
Correct.
So you are right in saying that, but I just want to be a nerd and point out that it's a difference between
he had 6 rounds that he shot, but there's 7 rounds in the gun.
It's the difference between being behind a door and being behind an engine block.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Agreed.
That's all I wanted to, because some people don't think about that.
Yeah. No, that's I'm not doing cover. When I said it earlier,
concealment
I'm using
as cover.
concealment as cover. Yes.
Yeah. So I'll try to see where the contact's at, see the gun, and I'll be actually looking at everybody before I even draw my gun. I'll look at everybody, see if he's actually with any other partners in crime, because solely people don't try to rob it by one person. You might have a lookout, you might have a guy that's hanging out with you in the coffee fucking section, but he's just cool about it, and then you just look at him, see what he's going to do, and say, hey, get the fuck out of here, or
get down.
Or get down.
Yeah.
You try to take over the situation with people around you, but I'm going to definitely try to use concealment and see what the situation is. And I'm definitely going to draw my weapon, and I'm going to try to close in the gap. When I mean by closing in the gap, make sure that I got the clear shot. And when it comes to with a lot of people running around or people actually in the way or anything like that, you want to sector off
it's the basics of firearm safety.
Yes.
Know your target and what's beyond it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm going to do it, but definitely going to be looking at every individual person that's running around. If I don't see anybody running around just staring at everything, he's already more suspicious than the guy that's robbing.
So
what if you're at the gas pump?
And that's going on inside.
And this happens on the inside and you see
it's definitely a very different scenario. Before I let you go down that tangent, because I think that's an interesting tangent to go down.
We'll have to do that in the next episode.
Okay, we're running low.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I can kind of pose this to you and then put myself in that situation
go for it.
Kind of answer this question. To preface this with, you're right in saying you don't know what you'll do until you're there. But I know 2 different people. It's not like they were great friends of mine, but they were people that I dealt with on a regular basis that were either a cashier or the equivalent of a cashier. I mean, I guess they were both cashiers, but one was for a restaurant and one was for a gas station. And they were both murdered.
Fuck.
I know 2 people in my life that were murdered from people that were holding them up.
That seems like a very riskful job. Like I put that along with being a bank security guard.
So my mindset, I understand some people will think, oh, well, that's so appalling. They're just trying to hold it up for money. You don't know. You can't know what the guy with the gun's intentions are when he has it pointed in
and I hate when
face.
people go down that fucking road.
Right.
Well, they could have just been taking money. Well, fuck
people,
you.
People do, though. People do, though.
I know, I get it, but
So I just want to say that
putting anybody in danger is fucked up.
Those two people's lives being gone has made an impact in my mindset of, I feel obligated to save someone else's life in that situation.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to play with the same scenario of how I was picturing it, which is not necessarily how I was describing it to you, but how I was picturing it, giving multiple Wawas, how they're laid out.
I like that Wawa is being brought into this.
Sure.
All the way to the north side.
I do it because it's very particular in how it's laid out, so I can picture exactly, no matter multiple locations.
Yeah, you knew what I meant by Creamer Station.
Right. So I could probably, I could make a shot into someone that's going to stop them immediately, i.e. a headshot at 25 yards or the other end of it with a handgun, very, very confidently. If I'm stationary and I have time to take a shot and they're not looking at me, I can do that. That's not what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do almost exactly what you guys talked about. I'm going to draw my firearm. It will be chambered already because I need to be ready for a problem before it happens.
Correct.
And I will try to
carry a revolver.
And I will try. Well, I do carry a revolver sometimes.
That's his backup.
No, it's primary some days, but 686 over here.
All right.
I will close distance. For one, it will be an easier shot, but for two, deadly force is not my primary goal in life. And I know that that's true for both of you too. The other upside to closing distance is having a possibility of a non-lethal end to the confrontation. If you are directly on them and you can put hands on them without them knowing that you were there, you have the opportunity to both get that gun away from someone's face, away from doing harm, and put gun on them and attempt to use intimidation. Now, that may not work, and you may have to make a very split second to end someone's life, but there's an opportunity to not have to do that.
It's really risky, man.
It's very risky.
So,
this situation can go about 100 different ways.
And I 100% understand.
He's talking about what he would try to do.
I 100% understand that I'm putting my own life at risk by doing that. But I also, and again, trying to reiterate, I'm not trying to be a victim. That's the goal of having a firearm to me. And, I don't want to watch someone else die. I refuse to stand back and be that person that just watches the clerk get shot in the face.
That's why we're friends, bro.
So,
because you won't let us die.
But I
like it.
And to be clear, this may be shitty or maybe not, but if it's someone pointing a gun at one of you, there's no hesitation; they're dead immediately.
Yeah, because all three of us are going to go bang
your
bang.
Family. to be real, your family. I love all Americans. I love all people. Then I love all Americans. Then I love people within my community, and then I love my family.
Me love dogs.
Right.
You son of a bitch.
Love people.
God fucking damn it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is another successful night, and wow, these topics, man, are so fucking good. I can't even fucking tell you. Like, it's amazing. I love talking about this shit because this is the conversation nobody wants to fucking talk about, and here we are. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to us. We're about to hit the 800 goal. We'll be at 1,000 before you know it. So just keep on going. Please reach out to us, give us some feedback, follow, and please hit subscribe. That's how I can tell how many people are actually going for it. And also, you won't miss an episode. These episodes will be released every week, and you won't miss them, and you'll be able to listen to them. And the one we just dropped last week, including to the one we're dropping now, the one next week, you'll be able to get all of the notifications on your phone to let you know that we have released. So we have Dylan. His Instagram handle is dhuck_.
That's correct.
Right? I always feel like I have to second guess myself. And then, of course, from cabalusa.co, I've got Dave. You can search his Instagram at cabalusa and over other social media platforms. And then, of course, I am the Nitro Panda. You can search me on all social media platforms at the Nitro Panda. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Covert Standard is coming out the webpage here soon, and they also have a Twitter. And I have no fucking clue how to use this shit. But please follow me and talk to me, and then I'll fucking come out with some fucking dope ass shit to say. But as of right now, I've got 1, maybe 2 followers on there.
Send porno vids. That's what scared me from
nudes.
Twitter.
Don't do that.
Send nudes.
That's a thing. That's a thing on Twitter, man.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Don't do that.
So follow Covert Standard on all social media platforms as well, so that way the followers will get on there as well.
If you want something, work your ass off for it.
Work your motherfucking ass off. Peace. Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that if you don't want to download or stream it, you can go or download and listen to it on your phone. You can also listen to it live on cabalusa.co. It's on there. The player's on there, and it'll be up there on the website for Covert Standard as well once the website's up. So you'll be able to go there and listen to it live. So make sure you check us out and subscribe. Love you guys.
Hell yeah.